And, whoa, look at Magoo. Magoo streaks into the...
Thorpe's got past Geboers. They lock handlebars as they go through, but Thorpe's done.
Here comes Bradshaw to the outside of Bale. He takes over the number 2 position, and Bradshaw is not done.
Now the gate goes down, and there they go. And already you can see how dry the course is as widening plumes of dust billow into the air behind each bike. Now around this hairpin, indeed, Geboers, number 5 of Holland, who has taken the lead. Behind him, number 3 is David Thorpe of Great Britain, who is one of the strong contenders to win this year's World Championship. Number 16, Ron Lechien, has now moved into 3rd place, and he is right up toward the front. As they make the circuit the first time, Lechien now 2nd place behind Geboers. Thorpe is in 3rd place. The number 2 rider in 4th place, Jobe.
29 turns, Jim, on this track. It's roughly a mile long. They don't average more than about 30 miles an hour, but they do hit 60 in the fastest parts of the track. Oh, Geboers just managing to hold off Lechien. Lechien only 18 years old. Jim, very inexperienced. Right there, Lechien, who is from nearby El Cajon, has just surged into the lead. Ronnie Lechien.
Wasting no time, but you wonder how much of a price a rider is going to pay to go very hard in these early laps. The moto lasts more than 40 minutes. The temperature is over 100 degrees, and Ronnie Lechien is flying already. You see him up off the seat as he moves it up the Carlsbad Freeway and now down the long downhill.
Yeah, it drops 30 stories, Jim, in just over 300 yards. We should have said 10 stories of depth and 300 yards of track distance, so it's extremely steep. Lechien, interestingly, is having only his 2nd ride ever in one of these big 500cc bikes. And the thought is that even though he may be able to lead and display this kind of flashy speed, when we get to the last 10 minutes or so of the moto, this man may be exhausted. We'll have to see.
You look at Lechien now as he dominates this first lap around the Carlsbad Raceway. Each lap a little more than a mile long. It takes them just under 2 minutes to complete.
See, is dry, a kind of adobe dryness. You not only does the bike slide a lot, as you see Lechien fight that slide there, but also, of course, the heat reflects back off the surface of the track into the face of the rider. It's hot out there.
Behind Lechien now, 2nd place belongs to Thorpe of Great Britain. 3rd place belongs to Eric Geboers of Holland, as the European riders have moved up to assert themselves early, though Ronnie Lechien is currently running away with the lead. Thorpe of Great Britain in 2nd place. Lead person of Holland.
Well, as you see Thorpe there in 2nd place on the bike number 3, Honda number 3. He is the leader right now in the World Championship, and this race is all important to him. Oh, there's a spill. Jim, someone is down. It's a Lechien.
That is Lechien who has gone down.
Now Thorpe has taken the lead. Jobe right behind him. Lechien struggling to get that bike. He's called Lechien the Machine back into action. There was that kind of mistake that you might expect from a rookie.
And that's really a very little relevance here, that acceleration is what matters.
You're absolutely right. Acceleration, and look at that.
There goes George Jobe, and Thorpe wouldn't let him by. Just for a moment, Jobe appeared to have pulled the front wheel past Thorpe into 1st place. Thorpe would not quite let him get by.
This illustrates an interesting thing about the technique of these 2 riders, Jim. Thorpe comes into the turn slowly and comes off like a rocket ship. Jobe is coming in very hard, braking very, very late, and then he's slow off the turn. He was able to take the lead simply because he came in fast, but meantime, Thorpe was already positioned to give it throttle. He took the lead right back again.
You've already seen how omnipresent the experience of injury can be in this sport. David Thorpe, no exception. He broke his leg in 3 separate places 5 years ago. Well, we're about midway through, or just a little past midway through, the first moto. And for the last 9 laps, this has been a pitched battle at the front between David Thorpe of Great Britain and George Jobe, who may finally have gone by him now. Thorpe goes back to the inside, and Jobe shades him with the rear wheel and has taken the lead. Marvelous piece of riding there by George Jobe, who went outside to get by him and then came back inside to hold him off. And so now it is Jobe who has taken over the lead. Jobe, one of the handful of great riders from the nation of Belgium, and Thorpe, who moves into 2nd place. And still behind them, the two Americans, David, strong third place at this moment. Carlsbad Raceway now beyond the midway point of the first moto in the United States Grand Prix Motocross, and suddenly the story here is no longer David Thorpe of England, who's begun to drop back, nor at this moment is the primary focus on the leader, George Jobe of Belgium, because the man in second place in the middle of your screen, number 11, is American rider David Bailey, who flirted with success here a year ago and is taking the lead.
Bailey's ride is magnificent at this point, and I've got to believe, Jim, that his fitness is starting to be a factor. The Europeans have come over this year with a little more time to prepare for this event than they've had in the past, but still the heat of the day is starting to take its toll.
This event approaches the level of a holy grail for David Bailey, who led in both motos a year ago, but suffered mishaps in both motos, which kept him from having a chance to win this championship. Now he's back in front with the crowd behind him.
You know, Jim,
To begin making up for the mistakes of a year ago.
well, you know, thanks to his father, Gary, David is probably one of the best taught riders in history. And it makes you wonder, Jim, how much of racing really can be taught and how much is instinctive. And I asked Mario Andretti about that because of his son, and he said, you know, the one thing I can't teach is psychological control.
You see there how far it is from David Bailey back to Brock Glover right there on the right-hand side of those two bikes. The man going by now out of the left side of your screen. He is a good 12 or 13 seconds behind Bailey. So Bailey has no problem winning the moto if he can simply stay upright.
As we see these men riding at the end of these long, demanding motos, it makes me realize, of course, once again, the emphasis in this sport is on endurance, and it's surprising how little body fat these top motocrossers have. On the average, 10% body fat or less.
Certainly less than 10%, Sam, on David Bailey, who is in superb condition and has focused most of his year on this particular race. You see him coming over Devil's Drop now under the footbridge, past the checkered flag, and Bailey has won moto number 1. Just to recap, a year ago he led